Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Sarah, and welcome to Travel Partner Official, the #1 spot on the internet for all things travel. Listen, before we get into this video, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way you'll be the first to know when a new video drops. All right, let's do this. All right, let's kick things off with Spirit Airlines. Now, you've probably heard the horror stories, and trust me, they're not exaggerated. First off, Spirit is notorious for its low fares, but here's the catch. They nickel and dime you for everything. Want to bring a carry-on bag? That'll be extra. Want to choose your seat? You guessed it, extra. They even charge for water on board. It's like they're trying to squeeze every penny out of you, but it gets worse. Customer service is practically non-existent. Good luck trying to get a hold of them if your flight gets canceled or delayed, which happens all the time, by the way. People have been stranded for hours, even days, with no help from Spirit. And don't even get me started on the seats. They're cramped, uncomfortable, and they don't recline. Seriously, you're better off flying Greyhound. Look, I get it, everyone loves a good deal. But trust me, flying Spirit is not worth the headache. You're better off spending a little extra and flying with an airline that actually cares about its passengers. Next up, we have Ryanair, another budget airline that's infamous for its terrible service and overall unpleasant flying experience. Just like Spirit, Ryanair is all about those hidden fees. They'll charge you for everything under the sun, from checked bags to printing your boarding pass at the airport. And don't even think about bringing a personal item that's even slightly too big. They'll slap you with a hefty fee. But the real kicker is their customer service, or lack thereof. Ryanair is notorious for being unhelpful and downright rude to passengers. There are countless stories of people being yelled at by staff, ignored, and even threatened. And let's not forget about the delays and cancellations. Ryanair has a terrible track record when it comes to on-time performance. So if you're in a hurry, this is definitely not the airline for you. Honestly, flying Ryanair is like playing a game of Russian roulette with your sanity. You might get lucky and have a somewhat decent experience, but chances are you'll end up regretting your decision. Okay, moving on to a major airline that's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. United Airlines. Now, unlike Spirit and Ryanair, United isn't exactly a budget airline. But that doesn't mean they're off the hook. In fact, United has a long history of terrible customer service, overbooked flights, and just plain bad experiences. Remember that incident a few years back where a passenger was forcibly dragged off a plane? Yeah, that was United. And unfortunately, that wasn't an isolated incident. United has a reputation for being unhelpful and unsympathetic to passengers, especially when things go wrong. And trust me, things go wrong a lot. From lost luggage to canceled flights to endless delays, flying United can feel like a gamble. You never know what you're going to get. Look, I'm not saying that every United flight is a nightmare, but there are definitely better options out there. Airlines that prioritize customer satisfaction and actually seem to care about their passengers. Chapter 4: American Airlines, Lost Luggage and Broken Promises. Up next, we have another major U.S. airline that's often criticized for its shortcomings: American Airlines. One of the biggest complaints about American is their handling of luggage. They have a reputation for losing bags, damaging luggage, and generally making the whole baggage claim process a nightmare. Imagine this. You've just landed at your destination after a long flight, you're exhausted and just want to get to your hotel. But then you get to baggage claim and your bag is nowhere to be found. You try to get help from American Airlines staff, but they're nowhere to be found or completely unhelpful. And this isn't just a one-time thing, it happens all the time with American. They consistently rank among the worst airlines for mishandled baggage. So if you're planning on flying American, do yourself a favor and pack light. Or better yet, ship your belongings to your destination and avoid the headache altogether. Chapter 5: Frontier Airlines, the king of hidden fees. All right, let's talk about Frontier Airlines, another budget airline that's known for its low fares and even lower standards. Just like Spirit and Ryanair, Frontier is all about those hidden fees. They'll charge you extra for everything from seat selection to carry-on bags to even using the overhead bins. And their definition of a personal item is laughable. Seriously, you're better off stuffing your pockets with your belongings than trying to bring a small backpack on board. But it's not just the fees that are a problem. Frontier also has a reputation for cramped seats, limited legroom, and just an overall uncomfortable flying experience. And let's not forget about their customer service, which is notoriously bad. Good luck trying to get a hold of someone if you have a problem, and even if you do, don't expect much help. Chapter 6. EasyJet, not so easy after all. Now, let's hop across the pond to Europe and talk about EasyJet, another budget airline that's notorious for its no-frills approach to flying. And when I say no frills, I mean it. EasyJet charges extra for everything, and I mean everything. From checked bags to seat selection to even using the bathroom on board. Okay, I'm just kidding about the bathroom part. But you get the idea. They're all about those extra charges. But it's not just the fees that are a problem. EasyJet also has a reputation for delays, cancellations, and just an overall chaotic flying experience. Their boarding process is often described as a free-for-all, with passengers scrambling for seats and overhead bin space. And if you're lucky enough to get a seat, don't expect to be comfortable. EasyJet seats are notoriously cramped, with very little legroom. Next up, we have Vueling Airlines, a Spanish budget airline that's known for its cheap fares and questionable service. One of the biggest complaints about Vueling is their customer service, or lack thereof. Passengers have reported long wait times, unhelpful staff, and difficulty communicating with representatives due to language barriers. And if you're thinking about complaining about a problem, good luck with that. Vueling has a reputation for being unresponsive to complaints and making it difficult for passengers to get refunds or compensation. But it's not just the customer service that's a problem. Vueling also has a history of delays, cancellations, and lost luggage. So, if you're planning on flying with Vueling, be prepared for a potentially stressful and frustrating experience. All right, let's talk about TAP Portugal, the flag carrier airline of Portugal, which has unfortunately developed a reputation for being one of the worst airlines in Europe. One of the biggest complaints about TAP Portugal is their poor customer service. Passengers have reported rude and unhelpful staff, long wait times, and difficulty resolving issues. And if you're thinking about complaining, you might want to think again. TAP. Portugal has a history of being unresponsive to complaints and making it difficult for passengers to get compensation. But it's not just the customer service that's a problem. TAP Portugal also has a reputation for delays, cancellations, and lost luggage. So, if you're planning on flying with TAP Portugal, be prepared for a potentially bumpy ride. Next up, we have Avianca, a Colombian airline that's known for its extensive route network in Latin America, but has also garnered a reputation for inconsistency and frustration. One of the biggest complaints about Avianca is their customer service, which has been described as lacking and unhelpful. Passengers have reported long wait times, difficulty reaching representatives, and a general lack of empathy for their concerns. And if you're thinking about complaining, good luck with that. Avianca has a history of being unresponsive to complaints and making it difficult for passengers to get compensation. But it's not just the customer service that's a problem. Avianca also has a reputation for delays, cancellations, and lost luggage, which can put a damper on any travel plans. So if you're planning on flying with Avianca, be prepared for a potentially turbulent experience. Last but not least, we have Aeromexico, the flag carrier airline of Mexico, which has unfortunately earned a spot on our list of the worst airlines in the world. One of the biggest complaints about Aeromexico is their customer service, which has been described as abysmal. Passengers have reported rude and unhelpful staff, long wait times, and difficulty resolving issues. And if you're thinking about complaining, you might want to reconsider. Aeromexico has a reputation for being unresponsive to complaints and making it difficult for passengers to get compensation. But it's not just the customer service that's a problem. Aeromexico also has a history of delays, cancellations, and lost luggage, which can turn any trip into a logistical nightmare. So, if you're planning on flying with Aeromexico, be prepared for a potentially frustrating and disappointing experience. All right, guys. That's it for our list of the top 10 worst airlines in the world. Hopefully, this video has helped shed some light on which airlines to avoid if you want to have a smooth and enjoyable travel experience. But before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future travel tips, adventures, and more. And be sure to let me know in the comments down below what your worst airline experience has been. I'm curious to hear your stories. Until next time, safe travels.